Unbelievable.
Good morning, I'm Steve Thomas, and welcome once again to the loft here at Ask This Old House, where grown men, experts, stand by ready to answer your questions. But gentlemen, I have a question for you. What is a Dutchman?
A Dutchman. I mean, generally, they're a relaxed people. They like cheese, tulips, and wooden shoes.
Yeah, okay.
Richard, a Dutchman is a specialized knot we use in a rope to pull a tree over with.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Well, in my trade, a Dutchman is a patch in a piece of wood. Basically, Dutch people are frugal or thrifty, and they don't like to throw any wood away if it's damaged, so thus they'll patch it.
Huh. You think you know what a Dutchman is? Join the discussion by sending us an email. Meanwhile, there's no confusion about how Tommy puts a Dutchman in as he visits a home near Chicago. Have a look.
I think a Dutchman should have.
Well, here we are in Skokie, Illinois, in the suburb north of Chicago, right near the Evanston border. And we got an email from a viewer that said that they bought an older house and they replaced the front door. When they did, it was left with an ugly patch on the jamb, and they ended the letter with saying they were stumped in Skokie. Let's see what this is all about.
Good morning. We've been expecting you.
Good morning, Tom Silva. Ask This Old House.
Catherine Katauskas.
Hi,
Nice
Catherine.
to meet you.
Nice to
Come on
meet
in.
you.
Come on in out of the cold.
Oh, it's definitely warmer in here, I can tell you that.
Definitely. This is my husband, Daryl.
I know you, Daryl. Stumped in Skokie.
I'm stumped.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, tell me a little bit about your house.
Sure.
We moved in a little over a year ago, and the walls that are all blue used to be army green.
Ooh.
And I didn't want to live in an army tent, so we painted.
Yep.
Well, it looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a little dining room in here.
Very nice, very nice.
Got another kitchen in here.
Let's take a look. Well, it is in great shape.
Thank you.
Thank you. We put a lot
Paint
of
and
work-
paper was the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do we see down here? I see you have some critters.
We have 2 cats.
A couple of critters.
Where are they?
They hide when the doorbell rings.
That's typical of cats.
Definitely.
So tell me, what's the problem?
Well, let me show you. It's right through here. It's actually
All right.
the front door. So.
You lead the way.
All right. Okay. Tom, one of the first things we did when we bought the house was we replaced the old storm door with this new one.
Well, this is a nice new storm door, Daryl.
Thank you. And the old one had a different hardware configuration, and it had a closer right in the middle there, and you can see where the remnants of the patch is.
I sure can. So what is it that you want to do?
Well, my dad, who's a contractor, recommended replacing the entire door jamb.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could do that, but it's a bit drastic. I think we
Okay.
could just make a nice patch here.
Okay, that'll work.
Now, due to the cold, I'm wondering if you have any plastic. We could make a nice tent out there, make an airlock, and we can operate under that.
Sure, we can do that.
All right, morning we'll find the plastic.
Okay.
Well, we probably should be doing this work in April, Daryl. What do you think the temperature is anyways?
I think it's a whole 1 degree, Tom.
Well, this airlock will help. Let's go inside where it's warm.
Definitely.
Okay, Daryl, let's take a look at this, see what we got to do.
Okay.
Well, I can definitely tell that someone's tried to patch this before. And I see some nails here. What I'm going to do, Daryl, is I'm going to try to cut a patch that's going to fit very precisely in here.
Okay.
But before I make a cut, I want to make sure there's no nails or screws in here because I'm going to do it with a router or a chisel, or maybe even both.
Okay.
And if it hits any metal, it's going to ruin the blade or the chisel.
Got a problem.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Can you see in my kit there if I have a number 2 Phillips? I'm going to remove a screw here.
Okay. Here we go, Tom.
Great. I kind of wish I had a metal detector to see if there's any nails or anything down below here.
I have a stud sensor if that would help.
Well, let's give it a try, sure.
Okay, let me go grab it.
Okay. Well, it's a little ambiguous, Daryl, but it seems like it's showing something right in here. I'm going to try digging around in there.
Okay.
Yep, there's one. Dig this one out of here. Boy, that'll do some damage on my bit.
Definitely.
Here's another one right here.
Yep.
Well, I think we're ready for the next step. These pieces of wood, Daryl, are going to help us guide the router for a straight cut.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to tack them to the jamb, and this will make a guide for the router to go in.
I got you.
And cut us a nice straight line.
Okay. It's a pretty serious tool, Tom.
Yes, a router is a serious tool, and I've equipped this one with a collar to follow the pieces of wood that we've applied to the door jamb, and also a straight cutting router bit.
So the collar prevents it from going into the guide blocks.
Exactly right. Okay, Darryl, here's a sample of the piece of wood that we're going to use to patch the hole. I got it at the local lumber yard. It's a piece of poplar. It's 3 inches wide, and it's about 5/16 of an inch thick.
Okay.
What I need to do now is to set the depth of the router to make this right cut. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the router, I'm going to plunge it in until the router bit hits the casing.
I see.
All right? Now, I'm going to open this up, and you're going to slide that piece right in that little space. Now, I'm going to lock this down. Now, when you remove that, and I plunge this router, that added depth, that's just the right amount to remove the material. Now, and only now, for reasons of safety, do we plug in that router.
Okay.
Hey, Darryl, take a look.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Fine-tuning with a chisel, and we're in business.
Great. So the router can't make a square corner, but it gets everything else out.
Sure does. Okay, Darryl, want to pass me that piece, and I'll take that mat knife so I can mark the length.
Okay.
Good. Now, we'll cut it on the saw.
Okay. Tom, I noticed you didn't use a pencil to make that mark.
Right. When you're working in a fine spot like this, Darryl, a utility knife is much more accurate.
I see.
Let's take a look at what we have here. We have the original jam, and we have a second piece, which is the original casing to that jam. What I want to do is I want to make the patch also in 2 pieces, so it'll match what we see up here. Okay, I'll hold that there. I'll take a straight edge, line it up, and cut that with the utility knife.
So you're not going to saw that?
No, I don't have a rip saw, and the razor blade will work fine.
Okay.
Okay, Darryl, before we glue this in, let's check it to make sure that it fits.
Okay.
There's one piece. And here's the second piece. All right, that'll work. Pass me that glue.
All right. Here you go, Tom.
Now, this is going to be painted, so I'm not really worrying about any waterproofing, but any good carpenter's glue will hold this. A couple of small finish nails, and that'll hold it till the glue dries. Well, that looks pretty good, Darryl. What do you think?
That's great.
All right, I'm going to spray a primer on it, and later on you can put a couple of coats of paint on it, and you're in business.
All right.
Let's check out, see what Catherine has to say about it. Well, here we go, Catherine, the test. Take a look. What do you think?
I think that looks wonderful. You have no idea how long I've been looking at that hole.
Well, that's cool. It's all ready.
That's great.
Great, thank you.
Well, we consider you no longer stumped and skokie.
Thanks, Tom.
I got to catch a plane.
Oh, great.
It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And now, it's time for What Is It?
All right, gentlemen. What is it? High impact plastic. Taxi cab yellow. Adjustable struts right here. And this is the dead giveaway. Bungee cords.
I know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually one of the parts in the series I don't have. You know, I have the bike rack, I have the ski rack.
Yeah.
This is actually the universal ball holder for your car. No, you just come back. No, you just come back from the health club. You don't want the balls rolling around in the back of the car. Show me that football here.
Yeah.
So you just hook that thing on the back.
Richard, this is one of your best.
No, you
Oh,
hook
this
this
is
on
one
the
of your
back
best.
right here.
Yeah.
And then this thing just clips into the trunk of the car right here.
So outside or inside?
It goes right there. You got also they have them for golf balls, ping pong, tennis. It's amazing.
I love going after you.
Oh, geez.
This is actually a 3rd generation coffee cup caddy.
Yeah.
You guys have seen my truck, right? Nice
Oh,
and neat.
yeah, I've seen your truck.
Well, when I'm having lunch, I simply support this on the window, put my ham and cheese sandwich here, my cup, I can tie it down in case I go over a
That
bump,
explains
mustard
the-
relish,
That
napkin.
explains
I'm
the
good to
mess
go.
in your truck right now.
You don't go for that one.
Let me guess, it's yellow because it's contractor grade.
All right, you see these? These are adjustable. These are adjustable. I like to put them up in the high position. All right. Now, these bungee cords right here are actually chin straps. And you put this on your head. What are you laughing at? What are you hitting? This is good. Notice I have the legs adjusted high.
Yeah.
I mount my 2 work lights on that small one,
Yeah.
and a battery mounts here,
Nice.
and I can work around in a dark spot, crawl spaces.
You've got courage. You've got courage to put that on.
Yeah, I think
I
you
think
should
he
wear
should
that
have
all
used
the
his
time.
head protection a while ago because he's lost it.
So hand me that
man.
piece of plywood, Roger. Pretend this is a pitched roof. This is, I swear, this is for real. And see these 4 screws here?
Yeah.
Those are designed to give you traction on the shingles, okay? The legs adjust up and down for a different pitch. Now let's say you've got a can of paint or
Or a sandwich.
a sandwich or roof cement. You're going to do a little patching or something.
Good.
That's what it's for.
Keeps them flying off the roof.
Oh, well, they are flying out of the stores, I can tell you that. You gotta have one.
Okay.
I think we better get too rich.
All right, guys. This is a simple one. What is it?
I might have this one, I think.
Yeah, you got one of those too?
Oh, yeah. But this is a bullet you can load either way into the gun.
A mighty hunter that you are.
Anyway, bullet.
Yeah.
It's a big
This
bullet.
is actually a roller that we use under slabs of granite to roll the heavy granite right into place. You need a bunch of them, but it works.
Nice try, Roger.
Yeah.
No, it's nice try. Never saw you use one. This is actually a magnet.
Big
One of
deal.
the strongest
Magnet.
magnets there are. It's actually called a cow magnet.
A cow magnet. It attracts cows.
No, not that way. A cow has 4 stomachs. All right. What the farmer does with this is takes this and jams it down the cow's throat.
Yeah, I bet he only does that once.
He swallows it, ends up in the first stomach. Now, any metal that the cow should eat over the years is collected by this magnet and saves the cow's life.
So like nails and barbed wire all hang right on that?
Right?
You gotta be kidding.
I'm not kidding.
You gotta be kidding. And that's where milk comes from.
And you heard it here first.
Well, here we are. The owner says that this development was built about 8 years ago. And since then, 80% of the water heaters have leaked. Now, that's a lot. So before something happens to his, he wants to do something about it. Hello. I'm Richard Trithui from
Hi,
Access
Richard.
House.
I'm Elena.
Nice
Please
to
come
meet you.
in.
Thank you.
It's all the commotion.
This is Joe.
I'm Richard Trithui. How are
Hi,
you?
Richard. Joe Pucciarelli. Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to see you.
Please.
Love your place.
Come on in.
Great. Nice and open plan here. Kitchen falls into a nice little dining room.
Why don't you come in and warm yourself by the fire?
Oh, I like this room. Nice family room. Oh, and a fireplace that doesn't need to have logs put on. That's
My
pretty
kind of
good.
fireplace.
That's right. No dirt, no grime. Well, great.
Here,
Did
let
you
me
guys
take
build the house originally?
Yeah, we did. We built this house new, the proverbial. We built it up out of the mud.
Great. That's
It was a
kinda
great
fun, isn't it?
experience. You know, they always say you should build one new house in your life.
Just once?
I've done it once.
I like this room.
This is sort of the fun room in the house. It gives us a chance to sort of enjoy the sun and the outside without enduring 20-degree weather.
Right. Watch a sunset here. Who's the gardener?
I am.
You are? Great.
Cure for cabin fever.
Now, we have to talk about water heaters, though.
Yeah, come on in.
Now, in your email, you said you're really nervous about the water heater leaking. What's the big deal?
You know, Richard, as I said to you, we built our house. This is one of the newer houses in the subdivision, or one of the oldest houses in the subdivision. And almost all of my neighbors have had their water heaters failed. And when they failed catastrophically. You've had these 20-foot puddles down in their basement. You know, my wife and I travel periodically.
That's usually when they fail.
That's the problem. You know, it's the proverbial I'm going to come back from vacation and find my house floating in the street because the water heater just, you know, popped out on me.
Let's see what we can do.
That'd be great.
Great.
Look at this place. Neat and clean. Not a speck of dust. Just like my basement. Joe.
Yeah, not exactly.
I think I might need you to come over and get me organized. Wow.
It's right over here, Richard.
Okay. Pretty straightforward water heater. 40-gallon, gas-fired. Yeah, shut off right here. That's perfect. Let's see that on the floor here. What are you doing?
That's a water sensor. What it does is when it detects water on the floor, it calls a central alarm company. In my last house, I had one of these, and what happened was the phone rang at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was the alarm company telling me that my basement was flooding. And, you know, I was home, and I was able to go down and get everything out of the way and kind of control the mess.
All right. So why isn't that enough?
The problem is I travel a lot in my job. You know, my wife and I take vacations, and, you know, the law of averages, this thing is going to go when I'm not home. And by the time I call a security company, a neighbor comes, I don't have a foot of water in the
And
basement.
full city water pressure coming in here can put some water into the basement.
Exactly.
Well, I have a device that takes that one step better, I think.
Okay.
It senses the water leaking in the basement, but also shuts the water off. Let me go get out of the truck and show it to you.
Cool.
All right, Joe, tell me what you think of this. There's a valve I'd like to install right here into the cold water feed going into the water heater.
Okay.
Now, it'll connect onto a sensor, a float, really. Now, the float's going to go down into this reservoir. Now, the reservoir is going to be underneath the water heater. Okay. If the water heater leaked, the water level would rise, and it would make that float go up and shut the water off.
Okay, so then even if it fails, all I'm going to get is a small puddle and not a catastrophic
That's
flood.
right. No floods.
That's great, Richard.
All right. Now, first thing I'm going to do is drain the water heater. Have you got a hose?
I sure do.
Great. Why don't you grab it for me?
Okay.
Okay, when you hear the pump whine, it means we're almost to the end. Why don't you give that, kill the pump there. Okay, great. So what I've done is we've broken the gas connection. First, you shut the gas off, and here's a union. Now, we've cleaned up the cold water feed. I'm going to cut this pipe. Just go nice and steady around. Turned all the water off first. And I got to do the same thing on the hot side.
Not a drop of water yet, Richard.
What do you mean yet? Okay. There's that one. Now I'm going to get this flue out of the way. Oh, there's a drop. You jinxed me. You ready?
Yep.
All right, now, Joe, I'm going to do the big lift here, and you just slide that pan in there. Ready?
Yep. A little more. Okay.
Okay, great. Get that back in position. Let's line that up. All right, and now we just reverse the process. First the gas. A little bit of pipe sealant down here. And reconnect the union. And 2 wrenches.
How do you know it's tight enough, Richard?
When you can't go anymore. And I want to reconnect these screws for the flue connection. I want to make sure they're nice and tight for safety. There's 3 of them. So we'll work on the hot water side first. I've cleaned the pipe, I've flexed it, and I'm going to use this repair coupling that I can just slide down and bring right back. I'm ready to solder.
Richard, it looks like there's still a little water in that.
Well, there might be a little bit, but it's just about slowed down. I got a pretty hot torch, and time is money.
Understood.
And with these 3/4 fittings, it takes a little bit more heat. Here it goes. Let's move my torch over here a little bit. It's always good to wipe the joint when it's done. This right here is your temperature and pressure relief valve for your water heater. If too much pressure built up in the tank, it would relieve down through this overflow pipe. What we're going to do is we're going to extend this overflow pipe to here.
So you're going to use that as a place to mount it as opposed to changing the
Absolutely.
plug-in.
So we can just zip tie this right on, and there's the float.
Great.
Now, I've soldered this thing out here because this threaded adapter is going to go into this valve, and I can't let heat get on this or it'll damage the valve.
Sure, that makes sense.
So I also want to pre-solder this threaded adapter for the same reason. I don't want to damage that valve. Good, good. We're gaining on it.
So what's the tape all about, Richard?
Well, it's a thread sealant. You know, it will get in between the threads when I screw this on. I could use the pipe dope, but this is actually neater and does a better job, I think. Last cut is the other half of the union. Okay, one last snug, and now we can put that sensor on. All right, so I'm gonna make this connection up here. There's 3 spade connections right there. There's a locking screw I'll put in. And down here is where that float wants to go. So you get those zip ties?
Here you go, Richard.
Perfect. Get my fat little fingers on here. Okay, snug that up. Hold it right down there. I'm gonna need one more, Joe, too. What did we ever do before zip ties? Good. That's there. I'll snug them up in a bit. And there's our float. All right, Joe, now we'll turn the gas back on. I've already lit the pilot down in there. There it goes. And now let's give it a test. So just listen to that valve. I'm going to raise the float as if this pan was filled. Yep. So imagine the water pouring in here with a catastrophic failure. The float rises, and it shuts it off. To reset it, you drop it. So it's also nice you can test this thing.
Great, let's get Elena.
All right. Yeah, you going to use that as your Christmas card? There you go. I don't know about that.
Thanks, Richard.
Well, it was a pleasure working with you. You're a great apprentice. There's my card if there's anything. And happy holidays to both.
Thanks a lot, Richard.
Thank you very much.
Hey, good job.
Nice job, Richard.
That was a lot of work. Was that really necessary?
Well, if that water heater leak is going to be hundreds of gallons by the time help arrives, I mean, you decide.
I guess you're right.
Well, folks, you've just seen another episode of Ask This Old House. Until next time, I'm Steve Thomas.
I'm Roger Cook.
I'm Tom Silva.
And I'm Rich Thruthui.
For Ask This Old House.
I want to know, will a pizza dish work?
Yeah, big one.
For a minute.
like the mega.
No.
Email your questions to our online address, asktoh@pbs.org, or write to us, care of This Old House Magazine, 1185 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, 10036. And thanks.